Hello viewers. So we have these two conceptual questions here. They fall under stoichiometry. So the first one says, if a person asks you to buy 500 toffee sweets, how would you count the sweets using the concept of counting by weight? And B is saying, explain why atomic masses on the periodic table are not whole numbers. So let's start with the first one. So in order for us to answer the first question, we need to understand what the concept of counting by weighing means. So this means instead of counting items or objects one after another, you use weight to find or to get the amount of objects you are looking for. So instead of counting one by one, you instead weigh them and you'll be able to get the amount of objects you are looking for or items you are looking for. Now, how can we do that? So we can do that because this concept tells us to say if items or objects are identical, they are considered to have the same weight. So if this item is identical to another item, it implies to say, according to this concept of counting by weighing, these items must have the same weight. All right, so let's go ahead and see how we could find our 500 toffee sweets using the concept of counting by weighing. All right, so let's do that. The first step is saying calculate the average weight of one sweet. So calculate the average weight of one sweet. How do we do that? So let's say we get at least 5 sweets. We can get more than that, but in this case, we're using 5 sweets. So get at least 5 sweets and put them on a scale and record their weight. So that's the first step you do. And then after recording this weight of 5 sweets, you are going to now divide that weight by the number of sweets you used. In this case, we used 5 sweets. So let's say, for example, the weight of 5 sweets is 50 grams. At this point here is saying, so if we have 50 grams at the weight of 5 sweets, in order for us to determine the average weight of a single sweet, we are going to say average weight is equal to the total weight for 5 sweets divided by the number of sweets, which in this case is 5. And when we do that, we would have gotten our weight for a single sweet to be 10 grams. So this is the first step that you do. All right. After this step, then after you have determined the weight of a single sweet, you go ahead now to step 2. And this step says determine the target weight. So how do you determine the target weight? You multiply the weight of one sweet by the total number of sweets required or the total number of sweets you need. So in this case here again, we need 500 sweets. So since then the mass or the weight of one sweet is 10 grams, it implies to say we're going to multiply 10 grams by 500. So when we do that, we're getting a weight of 5,000 grams or 5 kgs. It implies to say we have determined the target weight. This is the target weight that we are looking for. What this implies is 500 sweets are going to weigh 5,000 grams or 5 kgs. So after doing this, you now go to the last step, which is step 3. Step 3 is saying weigh sweets up to your target weight. So put sweets on your scale and then weigh up to your target weight. Our target weight, as earlier said here, is 5,000 grams or 5 kgs. So this point is saying use a scale to weigh sweets until you reach the target weight. In this case, 5 kgs. Yes. By doing this, you'd be able to collect your 500 sweets. Yes. So what this implies is after you measure sweets that are up to 5,000 grams or 5 kgs, it means you'd have collected your 500 sweets because 500 sweets are the one that are giving us this weight, which is 5,000 grams in this case or 5 kgs. So this is how you count by weighing, or this is how you use the concept of counting by weighing to determine or to get the number of objects or items you're looking for. So just make sure you understand the 3 steps, and this is how you would even answer it in an exam like that, and you'll be able to get your full marks. All right, so let's go to the next question, which is question B. Now, question B here is saying explain why atomic masses on the periodic table are not whole numbers. So when you look at the periodic table, you find that the atomic masses are not whole numbers. They are asking us to explain why those atomic masses on the periodic table are not whole numbers. What could be the reason? So the reason is simple. Most elements that we have on the periodic table exist as isotopes. Yes. So isotopes are atoms of the same element having the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Or you can also define it as atoms of the same element having the same atomic number but different mass numbers. So most of the elements that we have exist as isotopes. Some have got 2 isotopes, some have got 3, some have got, a number of isotopes. So now the masses recorded on the periodic table are average masses of these isotopes. I have videos that are talking about the average mass, how to calculate the average mass, atomic mass of elements, and you can check that out. So the reason is elements exist as isotopes. So the masses reported on the periodic table are average masses for these isotopes. So that's it for this video. Subscribe to this channel and also like, comment, and turn on the bell so that whenever we post, you'll be notified to say there's a new video that has been uploaded.